Pursuant to Internal Revenue Service guidance, be advised that any federal tax advice contained in this program is not intended to be used, and it cannot be used by any person or entity for the purpose of avoiding any tax penalties that may be imposed by the Internal Revenue Service or any other U.S. federal taxing authority or agency, or promoting, marketing, or recommending to another party any transaction or matter addressed in this show. The opinions expressed by the host and the guests are their own and may not be used as authoritative advice. Any use of this material without the written consent of the host is strictly prohibited.
Welcome back. I am your host, Attorney Stephen Leahy, and this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560, The Answer. I am an author of a book, Deal with Your IRS Problems Today.
Oh, that's impressive.
And if you want a copy of that book, a free copy, give me a call at 312-664-6649. Now, our last segment, we talked about our ongoing saga, and there was lots more I wanted to talk about. One of the things I wanted to point out is that through July of this year, the IRS has collected a record amount of money, $2,469,178,000,000.
And how many cents?
I'm sure they have it to the penny.
And 99 cents.
They got it to the.
It's over now.
They got it to the penny. And so, all of this.
Hey, they owe me money.
We need more money to collect more money because remember, they claim that for every dollar we give to the collections, they collect $6 in return. Mm-hmm. And this is what we talked about. Was it last week or the week before? The tax gap. 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah,
the tax gap. And the difference between what the IRS thinks they should have collected and what they actually did collect.
Well, Steve, I'd love to keep talking about that, but we do have a segment here.
Okay, what's this? This segment is about.
And this segment is the a listener question, mm-hmm. and the question is. The question is: Do property taxes are they covered if you claim bankruptcy?
Are they discharged in bankruptcy?
And
the answer is no.
No. Okay, that's it.
And this is why,
now we'll move on.
And this is why they're not. Okay, because taxes generally go with the land. And so they're a secured claim. So they don't go away if you file bankruptcy. And so if I'm behind in my taxes and I file bankruptcy, I still owe the taxes. Actually, I don't owe them. The land owes them. But if I want to keep the land, then they have to be paid. And if I don't pay them, or if the mortgage company doesn't pay them, then somebody else will pay them. It's at a tax sale. They go to a tax sale, and some third party buys them and pays the taxes. And then in order for you to keep your property, you have to redeem them. And redemption means you have to pay the person who bought them. You have to pay them, and you have to pay them interest. And if you don't, then they will own the property after a redemption period. It can go up to 3 years. It's to 2 to 3 years. It can be extended to 3 years. And that means that if you don't pay that person within 3 years of the date of the sale, then that person now owns the property free and clear of any liens. So now you don't own the property, and the mortgage company, if you have a mortgage on the property, they don't have a lien on the property either. So they lose also because now it becomes a unsecured debt rather than a debt secured by the property. And so they can't foreclose anymore. So what usually happens is this. I fall behind in my taxes. Usually it's covered by my escrow. So if I'm paying my mortgage, the mortgage part of my mortgage payment goes into an escrow account, and the escrow account pays my property taxes. If I'm not in escrow and I don't pay the taxes, well, the mortgage company learns about that because they have an interest in that property. And what they'll do is they'll pay it for you. They're not really doing you a favor. They're protecting their own interests, because if they don't pay it and you don't pay it, then the mortgage company will lose its lien. Mm-hmm. So if I'm falling behind in my mortgage, and I get this a lot with people on foreclosure, I haven't paid my mortgage, and so I haven't paid the taxes. What's going to happen with the taxes? Or if they lose their house to foreclosure, are they going to come after me for those taxes that were in the foreclosure and I haven't paid them in 3 years? So can the Cook County government come after me? And the answer is no, it goes with the land. And so whoever buys that property is going to be responsible for the taxes on that property. And if they don't pay the taxes, then they'll be sold at an auction, and the person who buys it at auction will gather and will be the owner of that property after the redemption period expires. And this is important stuff, I think, because people don't understand the way the property tax system works. Remember now, the government can't go on without the money. Okay.
Yeah.
So they want the money now. They're not going to come up with an installment agreement. You're not going to be able to pay them in payments. They want the money now. And so the way they do that, again, is they have the sale and someone comes and gives them the money for the property tax. And now if you don't pay it, you have a right to redeem it. But if you don't redeem it, then you will lose ownership of that property. And again, the person who bought that tax will own the property free and clear of any liens. And that's important stuff.
That's very important stuff. I will say one thing. It's depressing to know that you really never own your own land.
Well, I always say here in Cook County, at least, and in Lake County, I guess, is that we never own our property. We're renting it from.
You can be living there for 100 years, and
many of our taxes are more than most people pay in a mortgage payment on a monthly basis, and so we never really own our land. We just rent it from the county.
Yeah, so even if you've lived there for 10 generations, you've only just been renting.
If you don't pay the taxes, they're taking it away from you, and that's the way it works.
It's never paid off, and they just keep going up.
So you don't ever really own the property. The county owns the property, and you're renting it from them.
So, the important part here is to make sure that you're protected and that you have somebody that you could talk to and find out how to take care of these problems. And how would somebody get in touch with you?
Well, again, I think a lot of this goes together, and that's why you need someone that can put it all together for you. And that's what we do. And you can give us a call at 312-664-6649. Now, don't wait till the end, okay? I get calls from people whose property's been sold at a tax sale, and a month before it's supposed to be redeemed, they call and say, well, what can I do about it? Well, it's hard to do anything about it a month before the sale. But sometimes you can still sell the property. It's still yours until the date of sale. So you got to take some action. And to take action, call me at 312-664-6649. Visit the website at chicagotaxteam.com or send me a question at questions@irsradiohour.com.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.